Greetings from Mickey Roussel Field in Reserve, Louisiana, for a key District 9 2A football matchup. We're happy to be with you on SportsNola.com tonight. Jude Young here in the press box looking over a packed house. There's been tailgating here for several hours before the game from fans from both schools, and we're expecting a really good battle tonight between two extremely well-coached football teams and a pair that hope not only to win a district title, pending the matchup of this game and two more in the league, but a Division II playoff championship as well, as we pause now for our pregame festivities. Our national anthem by the Riverside Rebel Band. Ready for this big one in District 9 2A. The hosts from Riverside, 5-1 on the year, 2-0 in district play. St. Charles Catholic comes in at 6-1 and also 2-0 in 9 2A. These two teams have faced off 6 times in the past, and St. Charles Catholic had the better of it early on in the series, but last year it was a clean sweep for the Rebels by scores of 35-14 and 35-3. Riverside reaching the Division II state championship game before falling at the Superdome. Of course, these coaches are both fantastic. When you talk about Riverside and Bill Stubbs, of course, he's building a powerhouse here at Riverside. He was fantastic in his years at Salmon. And on the flip side, Frank Monica, one of the legends in Louisiana high school coaching, has built a consistent winner at St. Charles Catholic, including a state championship win back in 2011. Riverside won the state title back in 1983 when the namesake of this field, Mickey Roussel, a legend in his own right, was the head coach. We have the coin toss here at midfield, and St. Charles Catholic will receive as Riverside deferred to the second half, so they'll lean on their defense first. And it'll be up to Lloyd Nash, the outstanding junior quarterback for St. Charles Catholic, to carry this offense, a very run-oriented Comets team. And Nash, when he's at his best, like he was last week against Newman, can be an outstanding one-man gang. He only threw 3 passes and completed them all for 30 yards. But how about an additional 330 yards rushing and a 38-19 win at Lupin Field that earned Nash the Metro Prep Player of the Week award from the RL Carriers New Orleans Bowl and the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation Quarterback Club. And here, of course, at Sports NOLA and WHNO TV. Speaking of WHNO, we remind you tomorrow that we'll have a regular television broadcast with streaming here at Sports NOLA at 2 o'clock. Also, a District 9 2A matchup, and it'll be Newman at Country Day. Kickoff at 2 o'clock on Sports NOLA, and you can watch the delayed broadcast at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. So I know fans of both of these teams interested in that matchup as well. Also tomorrow on WHNO Live, it'll be Sam Houston at the Cardiac Kids of Louisiana football this year, the Nichols State Colonels. Again, Sam Houston at Nichols, live on WHNO TV at 2:30. Riverside in the home navy blue uniforms, the RA logo on their helmets, also navy blue, and St. Charles Catholic wearing their road whites, blue numbers with the gold trim, and the SCC logo familiar on their helmets as well. As we're ready to get things started a little early in Riverside, Elliot Barone lining up to kick it away for the hosts. And the excitement building to this moment as we start things off. And that ball will sail through the end zone. As Nash was back to return, he does it all for St. Charles Catholic, but couldn't do anything on that occasion for the touchback. We mentioned Nash with the big game last week, near doubling his rushing total on the year. 656 yards, averaging 6.8 yards per carry. And Marquez Jones, who had over 100 yards rushing last time out, has over 500 yards on the season. The duo combines for 11 touchdowns. Nash, when he does throw it, about a 50% proposition as a passer, 2 touchdowns and interception, only 322 yards on the year. As the Comets will come out in the shotgun to start things off. And Nash will take the snap and hand it off, and not much doing off the right side to start things off. Minimal gain on the play, and you'll see them try to establish Jones to open things up in the running game on a gain of 2 on first down. And Robinson in on the tackle to start things off. 2nd down and 8 now from their own 22, just underway on sportsnola.com. And this time it'll be the I formation, and we'll see the triple option look out of this oftentimes with Nash under center. Instead, it's a straight handoff and nothing doing again in the running game. A host of Rebels meet him at the line of scrimmage, and so far the running game not off to a good start for St. Charles. As that time on the carry, it was Philip Tran. Gain of about 2, setting up a 3rd and 6. Frank Monica saying this week that you need to play keep away against this explosive and versatile Riverside offense. Trying to string first downs together early on. In the gun, Nash, the lefty, will drop the throw and swing it out to his right side complete. And making one man miss and getting close to the first down, but being taken down about a yard short, is Narquez Jones. And we look at the spot, and it's less than a yard away from the first down. And I don't think we'll see any risky decision-making this early on from Frank Monica, as the punting unit will run onto the field, and the Comets will kick it away. So a 3 and out. Gain of 5 on the catch for Jones. And the Comets will punt it away. Back to receive. A lone setback for Riverside, and not opting for the fair catch and making a couple miss, trying to shoot up the middle and almost breaking away on the play. As Cardaz Joseph maybe a step away from making something big happen there. But great field position for Riverside. Return of a little over 10 on the punt. And it'll be the first possession for these potent Rebels, led by Jordan Loving. Loving, a terrific junior quarterback, strong arm, completing 55% of his throws. 7 touchdowns and 4 interceptions on the year. Over 900 yards passing, and they complement that with a running game that has nearly 1,300 yards in just 6 games. Real balanced attack. And it'll be Loving in the gun often today to start things off. And the quick toss outside. And slipping down is Jeremy Gibson, the leading rusher for this team. not much room anyway, as the play was strung out well by St. Charles Catholic. Call it a gain of 1 for Gibson. But unlike St. Charles Catholic, Riverside can sling it around the park with Loving and a host of very good wide receivers. This time it'll be another handoff and making a couple men miss. What a great run by Gibson. Bouncing outside and leaping over another defender inside the 40. A first down on a dazzling run by the 5'11 junior, Jeremy Gibson. A show-stopping run of 18 yards. And the first down of the game for either team, as it's spotted at the 39-yard line. And if the running game gets going, Riverside will be dangerous off of play action. We'll see if they stick to the ground. No, they'll have a straight drop back on the snap. And Loving finds his man near sideline, close to another first down. Avanti Cannon, a 6'3 senior, with his first grab. And we'll see where they spot it. Looks like they're going to say that he was short of the 30. So call it a gain of 8 on the first pass from Loving. Happy you can join us here at Sports NOLA for web stream only broadcast tonight. Again, a reminder, fans of District 9 2A like this matchup. We'll have Newman at Country Day tomorrow at 2 o'clock with a replay on WHNO at 6. Another running play, another opportunity for Gibson, who gets inside the 30. But it looks like he'll be very close to the first down, but he might not have it. It will depend on the spot. Riverside deferred to the second half and got just what they wanted, a 3 and out. And now they'll face a 3rd and short, maybe a half a yard to gain. And we'll see if they decide to ride Gibson and the running game as the check with me to the sidelines. You've got 3 wide receivers to the wide side of the field left. And Loving will look to that side and complete the pass for a first down. Driven back immediately is Jalen Banks at the 25, but it's a gain of 5 and another Rebels first down. Many options in this offense. Banks, 6'3", a junior, along with Cannon, and their leading receiver is a 6-foot playmaker, Cash Foley, number 1, who does serious damage in yards after the catch, so options galore for Loving. Also an outstanding baseball player, and he wasn't ready for that snap, but the man in motion, that's Banks, able to pick it up and make something out of what could have been a disaster. I think they'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage at the 25, but that was timing way off on the play. And fortunate for Riverside, they didn't turn it over. Bill Stubbs, we mentioned his great career as a head coach, including state championship victories at Salmon, coming back into the game here at Riverside to try to build a power under athletic director and basketball coach Timmy Bird, as Loving has another pass complete, going with the slant inside again. Another catch for Banks, his second on the drive. But again, good open field tackling after the catch, bringing him down immediately after a gain of 5. So that'll set up a 3rd down from right at the 20-yard line. And we won't see a huddle tonight from Riverside, as Loving in the shotgun, with Gibson offset behind him. Takes the snap, and they will go with the running game, and Gibson will break one tackle and nearly get away again as he surges for the first down inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line. Gain of 8, and the balance we expected on full display early on. Loving 3 for 3 on the drive passing, and a couple of first downs on the ground for Gibson. Quickly to the line of scrimmage in the red zone on first down from the 12. Loving will keep around the left end, has room, cuts inside, diving close to the goal line, but brought down short, probably of the first down, but awfully close again, as that time with the zone read he kept and had plenty of room untouched around the left side. Call it a gain of 9, down to the 3, as we near the halfway point of this first quarter. First possession for the Rebels. Knocking on the door in reserve. Loving will look to throw. Fire across the middle for the touchdown. Wide open was Avante Cannon. His second catch on the drive. A 4-yard touchdown reception. And that was easy pickings throughout the possession for Riverside as they marched 56 yards on 9 plays and take a 6-0 lead, pending the extra point. And the home side here excited about the early advantage. The extra point is up, and it is good. Knocking it through is Veron. And with 5:55 to go in the opening quarter, Riverside on the board first. An impressive march down the field to take a 7-0 lead over St. Charles Catholic. We want to remind you that Roussel's Fine Jewelry and Gifts celebrates 40 years in the River parishes, whether it be engagement rings, class rings, custom florals, or sweet fragrances. Roussel's offers a variety of gifts including Chamiela Jewelry, Vera Bradley Accessories, and My Saint, My Hero bracelets. Visit our locations in Laplace, Gramercy, Boutique, and Ponchatoula. That's Roussel's Fine Jewelry, and that was a fine drive for Riverside to start things off, and that's exactly the situation that Frank Monica and the Comets wanted to avoid early on, falling behind to a Riverside team that's really dominated play in each of the last 2 matchups last season. Both of these teams eyeing high seeds in the Division II playoffs. St. Charles Catholic won out according to the power rankings. They would be the top overall seed. Riverside has a chance to climb the ladder, as well as Veron ready to kick it away once more. Last time was a touchback. This one may be returnable. It will not. Nash tried to reach up and keep it in play, unable to do so. 2 straight possessions for St. Charles to start the game will be at their own 20-yard line. And Nash has yet to look to run the ball himself, but he may have to take the offense fully on his shoulders now. Mentioned 24 carries for 330 yards last week. Just an outstanding performance. And St. Charles will give a variety of different looks. They like to run the triple option out of the eye, but they'll spread you out like they do here on first down, and it's a handoff to the right side, and again, very little doing in the running game as Jones is bottled up. And that's not going to be a winning formula. As you saw the replay of the touchdown a moment ago, St. Charles playing off of these receivers for Riverside early on, trying not to give up the big play and making Riverside work it down the field, which they did on a 9-play march to take this early lead. No gain officially on the last carry for Narquez Jones. Nash takes a snap on 2nd and long and will keep for the first time, trying to cut up the middle but not getting through the first wave of defenders. And once again, St. Charles Catholic facing an uncomfortable 3rd and long, and making the tackle on the play that time. This is a fun name for any announcer. Amau Chechukwu Najee Collins, who is a junior defensive end. And Riverside has a great deal of speed defensively, even up front. They get off blocks quickly, and right now they're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Call it a gain of 1 on Nash's first carry, setting up this 3rd and 9 from the 21. And Nash will look to roll left, buying time and looking downfield. That ball hung up in the air and almost intercepted as it falls out of bounds. Breaking on the ball awfully well was Riverside safety Zach Geiger. Got 2 hands on it, but not able to pick it off, but he did his job, knocking it away. And it'll be a 2nd straight 3 and out for St. Charles Catholic. Not the formula for success they were looking for. As Garland Robertson will drop back deep to receive for Riverside. And St. Charles looking to put pressure on their defense. No, not exactly, but they're going to face it as this punt allowed to bounce a couple times, and a dangerous play for the return man Robertson, but able to make something out of it inside the 45, setting up Riverside in excellent field position once more. Turn of about 15 and down to the 43 of St. Charles Catholic with 4:11 to go here in the opening quarter at Riverside. Both of these teams 2-0 in district. St. Charles Catholic has games against West St. John and Country Day remaining on their regular season schedule. Riverside plays Country Day and Sophie B. Wright, both away from the friendly conference here at Riverside. As Loving in the offense ready to attack once more. They had balance and everything they wanted on the first possession, and now it's another handoff to Gibson, who shimmies and creates space for himself once more. Good gain on first down. About 6 on the carry. He had an impressive 18-yard run on the first drive. And Riverside really has St. Charles on their heels early on in this opening quarter. Now Loving will fake right and throw deep down the near sideline. Had a man but overshot him. Jeremiah Bigham had a step or two. And if the throw's on the money, it's another touchdown for Riverside. On the coverage was junior cornerback Trey Joseph, who was all by his lonesome there defensively after the delayed look to the left by Loving frees the safety. But he wasn't able to complete the pass. And now an early snap, an accident again. And we have a whistle. I'm curious to see if they think Gibson had his knee down on the play. Now they're bringing the ball back to the line of scrimmage. And the officials will try to figure things out. That's the second time that the ball was snapped too soon for Loving. And somebody else had to scoop up the loose ball. And they're going to say that St. Charles Catholic was lined up in the neutral zone. So on 3rd and 4, that's an automatic first down. First penalty of the game is a costly one considering what had developed on the play. Although Gibson looked like he had some room to make something happen, it doesn't matter. It's a first down to the 32. Now Loving dropping straight back and completes another pass as he's hooked up with Avanti Cannon 3 times now and getting a good gain on first down. Again, St. Charles trying to keep these dangerous receivers in front of them, making Loving and this passing game work the ball down the field. Gain of just 3 on the play. And on second down, swinging out to Cash. His first catch makes one miss, but not another, and driven to the ground. Wesley Melanson with the open field tackle. Cutting down on the potential gain for Cash Foley, who we mentioned. He's awfully dangerous in space. 24th catch of the year for him for over 270 yards to lead the Rebels. Gain of 4 on his first touch. And on third down, and about 3 from the 25, Loving takes the snap, looks to throw immediately, hesitates, and overfires his man, diving. And close to scooping that one away from the turf was Joseph on a play that the timing was completely thrown off from Jump Street. Just the second incompletion so far, and on fourth down, Riverside's going to go for it with 2:22 to go in the opening quarter and the touchdown lead early on. And again, staying with the 4 wide receivers, running is an option, but they need to get to about the 22. Loving takes the snap and will hand it off, and they will have the first down, bouncing outside to the 20 near sideline, spinning off one Comet defender. Gibson knocked out of bounds by another, but not after a big gain inside the red zone once more, and a fourth down conversion to keep the drive alive. Not surprised they went with the running game there because they've had room with it quite often. Big gainer of 14 on 4th down. Now 1st and 10 from the 11. Loving will roll left and fire and have a diving play made. Is it? It looks like it's an interception, and it is. St. Charles Catholic on the errant throw, able to come up with a massive turnover for them with their backs against the wall early on as Loving, the right-handed quarterback, it's difficult to roll to your left and throw for a righty, and that time Loving inaccurate. St. Charles Catholic will take it deep in their own territory, but they'll be happy to have the football near their own goal line, probably at the 1.5-yard line. So huge play by the Comets, as they were in danger of falling behind 2 scores early after Riverside with the 4th down conversion. But they need to move the football here or they'll be right back in danger, as we have a delay and a timeout as Frank Monica rushed on the field from the far side to call the first timeout of the game for either team, with 2:04 to left in the opening quarter. Riverside 7, St. Charles Catholic nothing. And we also remind you that Petra's restaurant serves a variety of delicious cuisines with excellent service. Featuring the only white tablecloth dining experience in St. John, Petra offers an experience you'll never forget. Let Petra's host your next event and enjoy their outstanding dishes and serene atmosphere. That's Petra's in Laplace. The difference in the game so far, a 4-yard touchdown pass from Jordan Loving to Avanti Cannon. As Riverside scored on their first possession and were knocking on the door before Loving's errant throw was picked off by St. Charles Catholic. And I think the gravity of the situation, you get a reprieve with the big turnover, but St. Charles has to find a way to at least create some room to punt the football away. After the timeout, Nash leads the offense to the line of scrimmage. And now shifting late in motion was Jones. Long snap count at the line of scrimmage, and eventually a handoff right up the middle, and a good surge considering, up to about the 5-yard line. Exactly what St. Charles Catholic was looking for on first down. A little room to breathe as Philip Tran able to power forward for 4. Can't imagine St. Charles taking too many chances here backed up to their own goal line. But now at the 5 for 2nd and 6. Riverside crowding the line, 9 within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage and swallowing up the running game. Just not much room to operate, as once again they tried to go with the freshman Tran, who protected the football at least. And no gain, though, on the carry, setting up 3rd and 6. It's going to be awfully hard for St. Charles to get an offense going if they're exclusively on the ground here against this Riverside defense. Riverside involved in a couple of relatively high-scoring games this year. A impressive win at Parkview Baptist in Week 2, 33-28, and knocking off Newman Uptown 32-24, and now room to move in the running game, and close to the first down. On the carry is Nash. And we'll see where they spot it, as he got past the 10-yard line and did indeed gain enough for a first down. Boy, did they need that on what may be the final play of this opening quarter. Call it a gain of 6, exactly the yardage to gain, as the clock ticks now inside 10 seconds to go. And I think St. Charles will take the long walk down to the other end of the field to continue on, trailing Riverside after 1 quarter. 7-0 here in reserve. In this presentation of Pret Football, brought to you by First NBC Bank. We'll be back in a moment. an opportune time for their first down of the ball game. Talking about St. Charles Catholic, backed up to their 1 yard line after the interception. And that's why I was confused to call out who it was, as we didn't get a closer look. Does he do everything? Lloyd Nash, apparently, on the defensive side of the ball, making a diving interception to stop that last Riverside drive. And a moment ago, his longest run of the game, only 6 yards, but that's what they needed for their first down tonight. Now they'll try to build on the momentum. Moving from our left to our right. If you're just joining us, St. Charles Catholic in the road whites, Riverside in the home navy blues. And it's a handoff left side, and tripped up before he could even get to the line of scrimmage was Narquez Jones. The penetration by LeBeau Bridges, the 6'2 junior defensive tackle. And he reached that right arm out there and disturbed the timing on the Jones carry. No gain on the play. Actually call it a loss of 1 on first down. And so far, St. Charles hasn't had much success running the football on first down. And Jones in particular, 3 carries for 1 yard in the early stages. Comets will go to the gun with 3 wide receivers on second down, and fake to the man in motion is Nash, but nowhere to go, and brought down at the line of scrimmage. Again, nothing doing. Frederick Means from his nose guard spot in the backfield to make the stop. Nash gets back to the line and no more. 3rd and 11 facing St. Charles here. Well, at the very least, they got out from the shadow of the goalpost with a first down. And we'll see if they risk putting the ball in the air on 3rd and long. Tyler Sandifer lined up in the backfield more as a blocker, and he does handle one blitzer, and that frees up Nash to run up the middle. Make another man miss, but tripped up before he can get to the first down. Key tackle made by the leading tackler for Riverside, Harrison Heckathorn, the senior, at the 15-yard line. If he doesn't make the play, Nash has the first down and more. Instead, a gain of 5 and another 4th down punting situation facing the Comets. And therein lies the problem. So much pressure on Nash to make things happen. Great atmosphere at this game today. Both sides packed a big game in district play as Veron punts it away. And it turns over a little bit, taken at the 46 and making one miss, and then hit hard is Garland Robertson before going down at the 42. Just 4 on the return, but Riverside sets up for the 2nd straight possession in St. Charles Catholic territory with 9:41 to go in this opening half. Looking to obtain an outstanding and affordable driving education? Then schedule classes with Spillway Safe Driving Academy in LaPlace or Lutcher. Student, driver, and adult courses are not only informative, but they're also fun. They also provide payment arrangements. Check out their website to sign up for your lesson today at SpillwaySafeDrivingAcademy.com. One of our special sponsors for this game tonight. As Riverside on first down will go with the trick play. It's a handoff to the man in motion and a throw by Jared Butler, complete for a first down, and a bullet at that. And the receiver on the play, it looks like it might be Cash Foley, on 2 knees and unable to get up on his own. Gain of 11 on the pass as Butler, who had to step in at quarterback for 1 game earlier this year and led the Rebels to a victory, threw a rocket there, but Nash hit right away and will be tended to by the trainer. 2nd catch for Nash, and we'll see, Cash Foley, I should say, and we'll see if he's okay. Again, just a sophomore. And you rarely see, much less a Class 2A team, having the embarrassment of riches at receiver that Riverside has. 3 different 6'3" targets. And Foley, the midget, if you want to call him that, at 6 feet tall, another outstanding playmaker as he continues to see treatment and now rises to his feet to a nice ovation. from fans on both sides of the field. Again, we remind you that the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase this week is Newman at Country Day, live at 2 o'clock tomorrow here at Sports NOLA, and a same-day delayed broadcast just 4 hours later at 6 o'clock, so you can watch it almost live if you don't catch it on Sports NOLA at 6 o'clock on WHNO, part of doubleheader football action, because tomorrow at 2:30, college football from the Southland, Sam Houston down in Thibodaux to take on Nichols. Again, that's live college football at 2:30 on WHNO before Newman at Country Day. Two games of real interest locally as it continues to be a slow walk to the sidelines for Foley with help from a couple from the Rebel sideline. Hushed the home crowd for a bit there. They've had a lot to cheer about so far as Riverside's been able to move the ball consistently. And now another running play for Gibson, who bounces it outside to his right. Could have had a bit more on the play, but tried to get himself to the sideline, only gaining about 2. He's had a very productive first half so far. Seven carries for 50 yards. And if you're St. Charles again, you simply have to find a way to get off the field if you can. And force a stop. Loving stay on the ground, and there's room for Gibson. But the whole closing quickly, and it winds up being a short game. Not much penetration for St. Charles Catholic, but they've tackled really well in space so far. And Riverside will face a third down about 6. From the Commons 28. And a rare mini huddle there. Checking into the ball game for Cash Hardell Mack, a 5'10 senior, in a lineup in the backfield to the left of Loving. And now we have a timeout called by the Riverside sideline. With 8:04 to go in the opening quarter, or the opening half, I should say, and Riverside leading 7-0. They've had the better of it so far on both sides of the ball. But a turnover preventing them from cashing in on their second possession after scoring on their first drive, capped by the Jordan Loving touchdown pass to Avanti Cannon. At their very first possession of the game. St. Charles Catholic has had the ball 3 times and has 1 first down so far. Roussel's Fine Jewelry and Gifts celebrates 40 years in the River parishes, whether it be engagement rings, class rings, custom florals, or sweet fragrances. Roussel's offers a variety of gifts for all occasions. Want to customize your very own unique jewelry? Let Roussel's national award-winning designers create the perfect jewelry for you. Jewelry not the focus for these two programs. They're looking for the hardware that you earn by winning in the Superdome in December. Both threats to win it all in Division II. Now Butler will look to throw on third down. Now stepping up in the pocket and getting what he can inside the 25. Brought down short of the first down as he gained about 4 on the play. So putting the ball in the hands of Butler, who's an outstanding runner. And so far he's thrown 1 for 11 yards. And his first carry for 4 yards sets up a 4th and short. Call it about 2, and Riverside's converted once so far, and they'll try to do so again, leaving Butler in behind center. To his left is Mack. To his right is Gibson. Now making a change at the line of scrimmage. And confused on the play, but surging and still getting the first down because of the work of the left side of his offensive line is Butler. Real confusion on the play, but fortunately for Butler and the Rebels, the battle at the line of scrimmage won there quite handily by that front 5. They've done an outstanding job so far. Gain of 3, 1st and 10 at about the 21, and they'll stick with Butler. I guess you would call this a Wildcat if he wasn't also the backup quarterback capable of leading this offense. A 6'3 junior. Butler will take the snap and what looked like a zone read. Plenty of room outside for Hardell Mack at first, but again, the speed of the St. Charles defense at second level, stepping up and not letting anybody get by them. Flag on the play after a gain of about 2. As Riverside mixing it up here with the running game on the drive, and the first penalty of the game against the Rebels is a holding call to push them back. And it looks like Loving was ready to come back on the field, but Riverside will stay with this Butler-based package at quarterback. Although he's looked confused at times. Again, waiting for a substitution as Jeremiah Bigham will check in and line up to the wide side right. 3 more to the left for Riverside. Pistol formation, and Butler will roll to his left and look to throw, and has a short man complete. Avanti Cannon again with a reception, but not going very far. Gain of about 4 on first and long. Cannon, who has the only touchdown in this game, brought down at the 27, so call it 5 on first down. And that'll bring Loving back into the game. And save for the interceptions, been pretty good so far. We'll see if they go to the air, and Loving will do just that. Pump fake and fire, and nearly knocked away. A diving play on the football, and once more right on the spot was Trey Joseph to knock it away. In and out of the hands of Jalen Banks. Could have been intercepted, as Loving again had his timing thrown off and tried to force one in there for what would have been a minimal game anyway. Now Riverside facing a 3rd and 15. Nearing 5.5 minutes to go in this opening half. Now Loving will go deep down the near sideline, has his man open. The diving catch is made for the touchdown. Jalen Banks stretching out and securing the catch right in front of the back of the end zone. 27 yards, and Banks with his 4th catch of the game, a beauty, turning 3rd and long into the 2nd touchdown of the night for Riverside. And that was an impressive play as Banks hauls in his team-leading 3rd touchdown of the season. And now Veron will try to add on the extra point, gets all of it and bangs it through. So with 5:25 to go, Riverside going up top for the big play to take a 2-score lead over St. Charles Catholic here in reserve. And at this point, St. Charles Catholic's defense might be getting worn down a bit. They've been on the field a bunch. The holding penalty looked to give them an opportunity to get a stop, but Loving able to throw a pretty ball down the near sidelines where only Jalen Banks could catch it, and using all of his 6'3 frame, hauling it in. Big catch and a big hole for St. Charles Catholic. As this game's starting to go very much like the 2 last season. As we mentioned, Riverside winning in the regular season to capture the district title, and then in the postseason scoring 35 in each game and holding St. Charles Catholic to a total of 17 points. So if you're the Com, it's really simple here. You want to put a drive together, use up the rest of this half, and punch it into the end zone if you can. As Nash will trot back deep, hoping for his first opportunity to return one. Again, if you're following the battle in 9-2A, we'll have another matchup in this district tomorrow. First NBC Prep Showcase, Newman at Country Day at 2 o'clock on Sports NOLA. As Veron kicks it away, and that one bouncing, so Nash has a chance to return. Quickly to the 25, really ran by any wedge that could have set up. Trying to catch Riverside by surprise, brought down at the 28-yard line. But for the Comets, that represents the best field position to start a drive tonight. previously, a couple at the 20 after touchbacks, and after a turnover forced at their own 1-yard line. But at this point, you feel like they've got to put the next score in this game on the board, or the hill might be too steep to climb. Nash will back up from center now in the gun. 2 backs to his left, and a false start could have been called but wasn't, and they're able to run the play. Swing pass outside to Tran, who doesn't get much, maybe a yard on the far sideline. And again, gang tackling from Riverside. If St. Charles Catholic can't get anything done between the tackles, it's hard for them to get much consistency outside against the speed of this defense. Jared Hemel, a linebacker, leading the charge for the tackle. And on his first catch, Tran does gain 3. Maybe more importantly for St. Charles Catholic at this point, the clock running with 4:40 and counting. Nash again in the gun, fakes the handoff and will roll to his right. The lefty looks, tries to run and does. Positive yardage, dipping inside one potential tackler, and brought down by LeBeau Bridges with help from Trey Katori. After a gain of about 6 on the play, actually, call it a gain of 5 to set up 3rd and 2. And that might be the MO moving forward here for Nash as we tick inside 4 minutes to go before the half. Spread the field, show the threat of the pass, and let Nash create on his own. We'll see the same look with the one-back Tran to Nash's left, and it'll be a quarterback draw, and it's not going anywhere as Nash driven back nearly 8 yards on the play after getting close to the line of scrimmage and no more. Forward progress will give him a loss of just 1, but not at all what St. Charles Catholic needed there. Facing another 4th down and about 3. And at this point, do you roll the dice? They'll take the time to run the clock either way. St. Charles has yet to go for it on 4th down in this game. The offense still on the field. Punting unit gathered on the sideline. And I think St. Charles Catholic will let the play clock run down here and call a timeout to decide what to do. 10 seconds on the play clock now as they've let the game clock tick inside 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And it will be a very intriguing decision indeed for Frank Monica and his staff. Monica at St. Charles Catholic, now 158-57, and in his fantastic career, 244 wins, just 75 losses. And he's more than settled in here to build a consistent winner with St. Charles Catholic. And if you're Riverside, if St. Charles does go for it here and you get a stop, you've got 2 timeouts and another short field to work with. But St. Charles Catholic has struggled so much to get anything going. They might feel like, hey, if we give up the ball here, go down 3 scores at the half, it's all but over. But I think it looks like discretion will be the better part of valor for the Comets, and they'll look to punt the ball away. Or at least they line up in punt formation. And Jensen will look to kick it away. And he does. Another one right down the center of the field. Robertson struggled with it initially. Now spins out of 1 tackle and won't go any further. Flag comes in as Robertson goes down after a minimal return. Maybe a couple of yards on the play near the Riverside 35. More than likely, this penalty will push the Rebels back further. Good coverage for St. Charles Catholic. And again, they're not trying any directional punting. They've been punting it down the center of the field so far. And if you're St. Charles Catholic, the problem is you've had to punt it at the end of every possession in this first half. And we'll wait to see if it is indeed a penalty against Riverside, and they will march it the other way. A block in the back is the indication. And that's a 10-yard penalty back to, it looks like, the 23-yard line, where Riverside will take over once more, up 14-0. Again, 2 timeouts in their pocket and a passing game that can move the ball down the field quickly, but they've also had success running the football, primarily because of number 7, Jeremy Gibson, who thought about doing a full 360 there and sort of tippy-toed his way forward. Gain of 5 on first down. You think about what this offense can do with their variety of weapons in the passing game, but they're still a team that runs it more than they throw it, and you see simple plays like that. And it looks like a late flag coming in from the far sideline on what would be a first down for Riverside. And we're curious to see which way this flag will go, as it's Cash Foley who returned to the game. Good to see him back out there. And it will go against Riverside for a hold down the field, way down the field, probably ahead of where Cash was brought down. After they mark off the penalty, the ball will be inside the 25-yard line. So in the end, 3 yards lost on the play. And a 2nd down and 9 facing Riverside with 1:54 and counting. Riverside will take their time, as much as a no-huddle team can, and go with the screen to the right. And plenty of room for a first down. Well blocked as Avanti Cannon cut under the 3 receivers outside and had plenty of room after the catch. First down. That will be spotted down and marching backwards here. We wonder if there's another flag on the play. Didn't see it thrown, but a huddle by the officials around the 34-yard line. As Cannon's been a busy man tonight. That would be his 4th catch. And we'll wait for the signal. I see the flag now down around the 30-yard line of the Rebels with 1:40 to go before the half. And I'll quote the coach Rick Gailey of Sports NOLA and WGSO. The more officials you see huddling up, the more you worry about what the final result's going to be as they try to figure this one out. Of course, we also point out that high school officials don't make a lot of money to do this. It's a labor of love, and they oftentimes do a fine job. And it will be pass interference called, blocking downfield before the catch. So that's a big penalty, marching the Rebels back deep inside their 20 and now inside the 15 as they walk it off. And it didn't get a half the distance mark off, but it'll be 2nd and a mile after a 2nd straight penalty going against Riverside. And now more discussion as they try to figure out where to put the football. Either way, Riverside will be faced with 2nd and very long. First down line to gain is at the 34-yard line. And it looks like they marked it down at the 14, so 2nd and 19 for the Rebels. And now Bill Stubbs not happy and pointing a finger saying he didn't like the call. Didn't feel like there was any illegal contact by any of his receivers ahead of the catch by Cannon. But it is a 2nd straight penalty against Riverside that takes away a nice gain for the 2nd straight play. 2nd and 19, clock stop with 1:40 to go. And Loving will swing one out left side. Plenty of room to run as Gibson up the near sideline, driven out of bounds past the 25. And just what they were looking for to get a nice chunk of that yardage back. To set up 3rd down on a gain of, it looks like, 12 yards. And now a sideline warning, it looks like, has been called. And is that against St. Charles? He pointed that way, the lead official. Clock stopped with 1:32 to go. After all is said and done, it was a gain of 14 on the first catch of the night for Jeremy Gibson. The junior is behind Loving here on third down, and they'll throw the quick hitch to Cash Foley, who has plenty of room. We told you about his ability in the open field, first down and more. They try to strip the football, and now diving for it. Is there a loose ball on the play? Looks like Riverside has retained possession and has a first down up near the 43-yard line, so a gain of 15 on 3rd and 5. Clock stopped with 1:23 to go. And the flag on the play is a personal foul that will go against St. Charles Catholic. So tack on 15 after the catch by Foley. And just like when we thought maybe St. Charles Catholic had come up with a big stop here, instead it's a familiar position for Riverside in Comets territory. Ball marked at the 43. And right on the ball, the Rebels ready to roll, and another swing out to the right to Gibson. This time, nowhere to go on a loss on the play of about 2 yards. Clock still running, nearing a minute to go. 2nd and 12 from the 45 for the Rebels. Loving quickly takes the snap and under pressure steps up and avoids two. Now firing near sideline and dropped right through the hands of Jared Butler at the 35-yard line. One of those peek before you catch moments. The first drop we've seen tonight for the Rebels. Clock stops with 51 seconds left. Two timeouts in hand, but if you're Riverside at this point, you need to get close to the 12 yards to gain minimum to think about going for it, as it'll be a look right and now throw over the middle. And talk about making up for it. Butler with a leaping catch near the 30-yard line. Mark it at the 31, gain of 14. And another big conversion on third down for the Rebels on this drive. 45 seconds left as the clock will restart once more, and snapping it quickly, the Rebels. And a quick pass out to the right to Cannon, makes one miss and brought down near the 25 for a gain of about 6, and we'll see if Riverside will burn their second time out, and they will, with 34 seconds to go. Call it 33 as the clock stops. And the quick hitches and quick hitters have been there for Riverside if they want to take them. One timeout left, 26 yards to go from pay dirt, and really taking complete control of this game. They want to try to get as close as they can, at least for a field goal try, as the half has really belonged to Riverside from the outset. They've dominated on both sides of the football. And it's that balance they bring to the table on offense. They have so many threats spreading you out that in the running game with Gibson, pretty hard to stop. Difficult guy to tackle in space. Came into this one averaging 114 yards per game. He's well on his way to that here in half number 1. Petra's Restaurant serves a variety of delicious cuisines with excellent service. Featuring the only white tablecloth dining experience in St. John, Petra offers an experience you'll never forget. Let Petra's host your next event and enjoy their outstanding dishes and serene atmosphere. Petra's in Laplace. 2nd and 5, and it'll be a draw play and room to run for Gibson. Stays on his feet, gets the first down, and they should stop the clock, and they do, as he's brought down at the 20. Gain of 6 and 24 seconds left, as Gibson seems to always make the first guy miss, and now as he comes off the field, looks like he's grabbing his right wrist. He will be attended to. And Louis Chanot Jr., the sophomore, checks in at running back. Loving under center will spike it and stop the clock on first down with 20 seconds to go in the half. And Riverside is awfully impressive, getting to the line and getting off snaps quickly to save time. And they can use all of the field with a timeout left at this point. And if you're St. Charles, you desperately need a stop any way you can get it. Loving in the gun. Chanel behind him. Loving will look to Cash Foley. Runs over the middle, spinning, and brought down inside the 10-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 11 seconds left. Call it a gain of just over the 10 yards needed. And Riverside will call their last timeout with 11 seconds left. Foley, who went down with an injury, left the game briefly. Now has 4 catches in the half. And it looks like Jeremy Gibson able to rejoin his teammates in the huddle. Worked out whatever issue that was with his wrist. Ball spotted at the 9. Riverside up 14-0, and one way or the other, they should get an opportunity if they can avoid being tackled inbounds short of the goal line to perhaps kick a field goal. Close enough for that, but you know they'd like 7. And receiving the ball to start the second half as well. As St. Charles Catholic has struggled to do anything offensively. Lloyd Nash had 330 yards rushing last week against Newman. Tonight, so far, 7 carries for 16 yards. That says it all. Loving, looking, firing right side, complete, spinning up the field near the pylon. Is he in the end zone? Waiting for the signal. With 5 seconds left, the clock is stopped. And they're going to say he's out of bounds just short at the 1-yard line. Another catch for Cannon. And St. Charles Catholic will use the timeout. And knowing how important this play is, 5 seconds to go, and your Riverside, you could conceivably get 2 plays off if you go with a quick pass. You're on 2nd and goal from the 1. And I'm sure St. Charles Catholic discussing their options. Do they bring extra pressure? They've really backed off of these receivers, but now from the 1-yard line, they might want to get a little bit more physical at the line. And again, we remind you, 3 of the top 4 receivers for this Rebels team listed at 6'3". They have height, which does bring the potential just to lob one up. Pick your target. Loving with 2 touchdown passes, providing the 2 scores tonight for the Rebels so far. A 4-yarder to Avanti Cannon and a 27-yard beauty, a diving catch by Jalen Banks down the near sideline to double the advantage for Riverside. St. Charles Catholic knows what they plan to do here. Riverside taking a little extra time. The only time they do huddle is during timeouts. And here they come to the line of scrimmage. Loving will remain at quarterback. Cannon lines up by himself to the right. 3 wides to the left. Foley in the slot. And they will run the football, and they will get it across the goal line. Jeremy Gibson. They went with the run on the final play of the half. And the workhorse Gibson punches it in and increases the lead to 20-0. Perhaps a dagger at this point as we near the half. And the 8th touchdown of the year for the junior Gibson. It's gone the way of the Rebels pretty much the entire half, although Riverside had to convert a couple of 3rd downs and overcome penalties early in the drive. But they stick it in the house one more time. Extra point up by Veronin, again hammered through. So the 2 teams will go to the break, and Riverside enjoying total command and a 21-0 lead over St. Charles Catholic. 2 touchdown passes for Loving, and then going for 6 or nothing on the final play of the half. It's Gibson powering across the goal line off the right side to make it 21-zip as we take this timeout and allow you to enjoy some of the halftime entertainment here in Reserve. It's all Riverside at the half, 21-0 over St. Charles Catholic, and what will probably decide District 9 2A. We'll see if the Comets can mount a comeback. And we hope you enjoy the halftime festivities on this beautiful, clear, and dare I say, fall night. Fall has arrived in South Louisiana. Jude Young with you. We'll be back after this halftime break here on SportsNola.com. Prep football presented by First NBC Bank.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this evening's halftime performance. This evening, the Marching Pride from Riverside presents its 2016 contest show in its entirety. Midnight in Transylvania. Movement 1, The Awakening. Movement 2, In Search of Pure Blood. Movement 3, The Feeding. Under the direction of Director Darryl Quaymont and Drum Major Matthew Trigg, the Marching Pride of Riverside 2016 Rebel Band. Southern Sweethearts Dance Team and the Rebel Color Guard performing to Don't Stop Me Now. Ladies and gentlemen, with Marching Pride of Riverside, this Southern Sweethearts and the Rebel Color Guard, your 2016 Rebel Band.
we prepare for the start of half number 2 in reserve, and it's been all Riverside, the hosts. Through 2 quarters of football, they lead 21-0, and they've dominated from the outset. They've held St. Charles Catholic to 21 total yards in the first half, and the Rebels scored on sustained drives, 3 of them, and could have easily scored on all 4 of their first half possessions, as Lloyd Nash hasn't been able to do much on offense, but he came up with a key interception to stop one march deep in Comets territory. Other than that, he hasn't been able to get anything going. And that balanced offense of Riverside on full display in the first half. Jordan Loving's played most of the game so far at quarterback, and he has completed 12 of 15 for 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Running back Jeremy Gibson has carried most of the load in the running game for the Rebels. 11 rushes for 64 yards, and on the final play of the first half, taking it in from 1 yard out to add to the Riverside advantage. Lloyd Nash is an excellent player, but against this outstanding Riverside defense, the Comets have been too one-dimensional and have only been able to put together 1 first down on their possession so far. And to make matters worse, Riverside is set to receive the second half kickoff in a game where they've been on the field most of the half so far played offensively. Looking at some of the other numbers of note, we mentioned the touchdown by Gibson. The first score came in the first quarter on a 4-yard touchdown pass to Avanti Cannon, who had 5 catches, mostly of the short variety in the first half. And then a big catch on 3rd and long doubled the advantage for Riverside in the second quarter. A 27-yard diving grab by Jalen Banks to make it 14-0. St. Charles looked like they were in position to perhaps have another stop, but down the field, an excellent throw by Loving and an even better catch in the back of the end zone by Banks doubled the lead for the Rebels. We mentioned the touchdown at the end of the half. That capped a 74-yard touchdown drive. And at this point, it's hard to figure what the Comets are going to be able to do in order to get themselves back in the game. It starts with coming up with a stop if they can here to start the third quarter, and perhaps maybe even try some trickery on the kickoff. We'll see what Frank Monica comes up with. These 2 teams played 2 games last year. Riverside dominated in the regular season and had similar control in the playoffs, winning by 35-3 on the way to a district title, and then beating the Comets 35-14 in the Division II playoffs. Both teams have hopes of reaching the Superdome in D2 this year, like Riverside did last season before falling in the state title game. That's kind of taken a little bit of the buzz and excitement out of the stadium. Such a one-sided game, as we had fans from both teams tailgating when we got here relatively early for the broadcast to set up for SportsNola.com for this presentation of prep football. Courtesy of First NBC Bank, there were already plenty of cars and lots of tailgating by both sets of fans, and you can see both stands have been full tonight. But so far only the fans of the Rebels here at Riverside Academy, Mickey Roussel Field, have had much to smile about, plenty to smile about, in fact. As the Comets will look to kick it away to start half number 2. From left to right, senior kicker Andrew Rodrigue getting his first action of any kind tonight, teeing it up and looking to kick it away. And back to receive for Riverside, the middle return man, Hardell Mack, as he's flanked by Garland Robertson and Jeremiah Bingham. Rodrigue steps to the football and will kick it deep. And it looks like it'll be Robertson taking it at his own 1-yard line, right up the center of the field, into the wedge, and brought down from behind, short of the 25-yard line. So that right around where Riverside had their last possession, their worst field position of the night. They started a couple of drives inside St. Charles Catholic territory, and it hasn't mattered so far where they've taken over the football. They've been able to steadily march down the field with a balanced attack. We've seen a little bit of Jared Butler, the wide receiver, number 11, at quarterback, but he will line up in the slot right, and Jordan Loving will lead the offense onto the field. And they've stayed in the shotgun, and this time it will be Butler catching the swing pass, making a man miss and another, and accelerating for a first down past the 40-yard line. We'll see if they say he stepped out before, but either way, one play, one first down for Riverside at around the 40-yard line. And we'll call it a gain of 15. And Loving has had pretty much everything he's wanted in the passing game. First catch for Butler, who was 3 for 3 passing in the first half. And also ran it twice for 7 yards. Loving will hand it off this time and into the teeth of the defense. It's Louis Chanel. Now Gibson left the field, the lead running back for the Rebels, late in the first half, returned to score the 1-yard touchdown on the final play before the break. But we may not see him again here in the second half if Riverside continues to have total command. Louis Chanel, the sophomore, just 5'8", but has some power to him at 185. We'll look to keep the running game going. This is a fake handoff by Loving and a throw over the middle complete. Through the arms of one attempted tackle is Jeremiah Bingham for his first catch of the game. And another Riverside first down. Call it a gain of 10. And on the move again, Riverside. They've primarily stuck with the short passing game. They spread you out and try to get the ball to their receivers in space, and you have to respect their talent and back off, which has allowed Loving to pick and choose his spots for quick hitters. This time, he'll direct traffic and smartly throws it away. And I think he wanted Bingham, the far outside receiver, near side on your screen here at Sports NOLA. Now he gets a talking to. They wanted him to run a different route or come back to the ball, and he'll stay on the field. And it looks like Loving will come out as they'll go to a package involving Jared Butler, the 6'3 junior, on 2nd and 10 from the 47. Rare incompletion for the junior Loving. Butler will go with the zone read and hand it off, and Chanel with a big hole up the middle and brought down in the open field at around the 30-yard line, but a big gainer of 17 on his second carry. And another Rebels first down as they continue to methodically move the ball down the field every time the offense is out there. Butler will stay in, 2 wide receivers to each side. And Butler will shake one man out of his shoes, and is close to another first down, gain of 10, before he's brought down by Bryce Othamant, the junior defensive back for the Comets. The one thing St. Charles Catholic has done well is they're going to say Butler was just short of the first down, gain of 9. Comets have done a good job of tackling in the open field. Problem is they haven't won the battle much at the line of scrimmage. And they don't do so there either. Chanel with an early surge, but met for a short gain. Still enough for a first down as Delarie Oubre, a leading tackler on the year for the Comets. We haven't heard his name called much. Able to make the open field stop there. Chanel may have been headed to pay dirt. Officially a gain of 3. 1st and 10, another trip to the red zone for the Rebels. Othamant again the single back, and they oftentimes to the wide side go with 3 wide receivers, and Butler will swing it out to Cash Foley. Foley will look to get up the far sideline, run towards the first down stick, and be spun down inside the 10-yard line for what could be another first down at around the 8-yard line. It looks like he was spotted just short, so call it a gain of 9. Butler now 4 for 4 through the air. Foley with his 5th catch of the ball game, putting him over 50 yards. 2nd and 1 from the 9. Just over 3 minutes into the second half, and again Riverside dominating. Looking to punch it in again. Butler will swing it right to Chanel, and what could be called a run thrown behind him, and Chanel will cut it up around the hash mark and be brought down inside the 5. First down and goal for the Rebels inside the 4-yard line. And I'm not sure how they're going to score that, but I think that pass should go as a run backwards or laterally. Didn't look like it was forward to me. And we'll put it down as a gain of 6 on the carry. And Chanel may get the opportunity for his first touchdown, although Butler in there, in part because he's so dangerous, and he will look to run the football, and he'll be brought down. And there is Delary Oubre making the play behind the line of scrimmage, and it looks like a flag in the heart of the offensive line for Riverside may push this one back a little further. Loss on the play of about a yard, but forget about that. Holding the call against Riverside. Pretty cleanly played game overall for both teams, although Riverside had to battle through a couple of penalties on their final scoring drive of the first half. But they haven't had much trouble moving the ball, only a diving interception by Lloyd Nash, who occasionally makes an appearance on the defensive side of the ball, preventing close to what you'd call a perfect game offensively for Riverside, scoring on every possession. Now Butler will roll to his right, still buying time and in trouble, and he will keep it and be forced out of bounds past the 15, and maybe in the end just getting back to the original line of scrimmage. Decided not to throw it away when he could, and it will be no gain on first down. Second and goal from the 13. On what's been a bit of a time-consuming drive. And St. Charles Catholic defense with the long halftime break, really their only semblance of rest since opening kickoff. Now Butler will hand off to Chanel, who has room surging and breaking one tackle and inside the 5 and close to the goal line. And they're going to say that he was brought down at the 1. Gain of 11, and you can see with that stout build, he's tough to tackle on an angle. And he powered forward to set up third and goal from the 1. Will he be rewarded with another handoff? He will, and he will spin into the end zone across the goal line from a yard out for the touchdown. And once more, Riverside works it down the field slowly but surely in dominating fashion. They go up 27-0 now with the extra point pending. Chanel with the touchdown, his 4th of the season. Also on the drive, that 17-yard run and an 11-yard run. There was 2 longest of the season, so he's getting plenty of work tonight as the extra point is up and once again banged through by Elliot Verone. So with 7:16 to go in the third quarter, it's all Riverside. The Rebels leading the Comets of St. Charles Catholic 28-0. And this presentation of Prep Football brought to you by First NBC Bank.
Riverside Academy graduate, Buck Walter Insurance Group, LLC, 25-second clock sponsor, First American Bank, a banking tradition since 1910, several locations throughout South Louisiana. Thank you for supporting Riverside Athletic. Attention please, the winner of the Riverside Pride basket is Andrea Watson. Andrea Watson, you have won the Riverside Academy Pride basket. You can come to the press box to collect your prize.
So Riverside in position, almost certainly going to take sole possession of first place in District 9 2A, another key battle in the league and for playoff positioning in Division 2. Tomorrow, live on Sports NOLA at 2, Newman at Country Day, with the telecast on WHNO coming soon after at 6 p.m. as Roan kicks this one away, and Nash will camp under it at the 12, bobble it, now pick it up and run it straight down the middle, and has room and plenty of it, surging past the 45. Then he fumbles the football. Are they going to say he's down? I think they are, and they will say, as Riverside pounced on it, that Nash was down at the 46-yard line. So a gain of 34 on the return. Ground forced the fumble, and that basically the highlight of the night so far for St. Charles Catholic, and by far their best field position of the ball game. Started one drive at their own 1, and a couple more at the 20. They haven't been able to stay on the field long. And now Nash and company will try to at least get on the board here, with a back to each side and a receiver lined up to each side of the formation. Nash will pull it away at the last minute on the fake handoff and surge into Riverside territory. First time we've said that tonight. Gain of 6 on first down. Nash with just 21 total yards in the first half, matching his best run of the night. 2nd and 4 from the Riverside 48. The I formation, the look for the Comets here. Play clock, plenty of time, down to 7-6. And Nash will look to hand it off, and straight up the middle is Tran, and driven back is Tran. Maybe got a yard on the play, no more, before being pushed back right in the heart of that defensive line. Wilbert Robertson, just a sophomore, listed at 5'11", 330 in on the play. He comes out of the ball game. Doesn't play much, but gets into the rotation because of that size. Just a sophomore, though. More than halfway through this third quarter, Riverside scored on their first possession of the half to take the big lead at 28-0. Nash will look to swing it out to Tran. Good catch on the run. Breaks one tackle, has a first down. Down to the 43-yard line. On 3rd and 4. Got just over 4 on only the second completion. Actually, call it the third of the game for Nash. 2nd to Tran. Now, if you're St. Charles Catholic, more than just trying to make the final score respectable here, you know you could see Riverside again in the postseason like these two teams matched up last year, and you want to give them something to think about. You don't want to quit. You want to have some positives to take from this ball game, as Nash will keep and drag one defender inside the 35. Once again, good gain on first down. Not able to get away from Jared Hemel, the linebacker. But a gain of 6. That's as far as Nash has been able to get on runs. Actually, we'll credit him with a gain of 7. With that being his longest run of the night, that's just a sign of how difficult it's been for St. Charles Catholic. Some shifting at the line of scrimmage leaves one back. Now a man in motion, and it'll be a fly sweep to Tran, who's pushed back into the backfield. And there's Wilbert Robertson again on the play, along with Najee Collins from his defensive end spot. They'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the carry. Setting up 3rd down and 3 from the Riverside 34. Deepest penetration of the night offensively for the Comets. And they're not going to change what they do. They're going to run the football 90% of the time. Putting it on the back of Nash. Inside 4 minutes to go third quarter. Although a handoff to Tran finds room, and a good surge up the middle as Tran battles to the 26. Best St. Charles Catholic run of the night. Gain of 8. And a first down. And running behind Nicholas Rollo, the senior offensive lineman, blocking at the second level. As Riverside rotates some more defenders into the ball game, St. Charles Catholic finding a bit more success here. Narquez Jones hasn't gotten a chance to do much tonight. He's lined up to Nash's right and will take the handoff, running left, cutting it up, finding some room inside the 20 and trying to drag a couple of defenders close to the first down. Good first down surge for Jones. Marked at the 17, so call it. Actually, we'll call it a gain of 8 on the play at the 16. Just the 4th carry tonight for Jones, who's the 2nd leading rusher, not that far behind Nash on the season. He'll take another handoff. He'll put his head down, and he'll be stood up. Don't think he got anything on the play, and a late couple of flags coming in. We may have had some extracurricular activity on the play. Not sure what it was in the pile, but you had a flag coming from both the front and the back of the play, so it must have been clear from the center of the field, and the personal foul will go. 2 of them signaled against Riverside. So that'll be a first down, and take the Comets inside the 10 with goal to go, with 2:33 to go here in the 3rd. They'll discuss matters and should mark it off half the distance to the 8-yard line. And that's where they'll spot the ball at the left hash. So a pretty clean game tonight. We hope things don't get out of hand with frustration, particularly the team you wouldn't expect to be frustrated. That has the big lead and trying to keep the shutout going here. Nash on first down takes the snap and keeps, and will throw at the last minute, and it's dropped. And the late signal comes that the pass is dropped as Nash threw it essentially sidearm towards the intended receiver left side on a play that would have worked if Rhett LeBlanc, the senior wideout, could have caught the football and probably would have scored on the play. As Nash took on the defender, and it's something we've seen Auburn make popular, as there's a flag on the play and a loss of down, as they're going to say Nash was past the line of scrimmage, so an illegal forward pass. Now that's the key. You've got to stay behind the line of scrimmage, but you can throw the ball there at the last minute if you're still behind the line and not have any issues with ineligible receivers downfield. So interesting decision, as Nash is trying to get the ball in the end zone any way he can. Still arguing his case, but the penalty marched off. It will be 2nd down. And they're going to penalize him from the spot of the infraction. Say he threw it from, it looks like, the 6. So 5 yards back and loss of down, at least for the moment. And they have to reset the play clock. It looks like they'll set the ball down right there eventually, and they do. With 2:15 to go in the half, clock stopped. Riverside in total control, but the Comets finally knocking on the door. A back to each side of Nash. And Nash will look to get it outside. Actually, he handed it off to Narquez Jones. Play strung out, and Jones lucky to get back inside the 10. Maybe got 2 on the play. Setting up 3rd down from the 9. No question, 4-down territory for St. Charles Catholic. They've had some really good wins on the year, including against Class 5A competition over Central of Baton Rouge and East Ascension in consecutive weeks. And Newman, not an easy place to win with a talented offense. Last week, Comets winning 38-19, but the offense has gone nowhere until this drive tonight. The left-handed Nash will roll to that side and will be in trouble. That avoids a couple of defenders and gets what he can. And actually getting inside the 5 on athletic ability alone. I'm going to say he was down at the 6, falling forward. Gain of 3 on the run, setting up 4th and goal. So if you're St. Charles Catholic, you don't know how many more chances you're going to get to put points on the board. Clock inside a minute, third quarter. And the Comets will go. And they'll have Tran lined up to the left of Nash. 3 receivers to the right. And Nash dropping straight back and throwing for a touchdown inside the pylon far sideline. And St. Charles Catholic gets on the board. And this is going to be a team that'll never give up. And a great job of punching it in. It looked like Tran was the man who got himself open to catch it. Philip Tran from 6 yards out. That's the longest pass play of the game. Nash 4 for 4 in the game with the touchdown pass. And the extra point is up and good by Rodrigue. So with 24 seconds to go in the third, St. Charles Catholic answers the third quarter touchdown by Riverside, with the Rebels still in command, leading 28-7. Looking to obtain an outstanding and affordable driving education? Then schedule classes with Spillway Safe Driving Academy in LaPlace or Lutcher. Student driver and adult courses are not only informative but also fun. They also provide payment arrangements, so check out their website to sign up for your lesson today. That's SpillwaySafeDrivingAcademy.com. And that wasn't a safe drive by St. Charles Catholic. They weren't worried about avoiding the shutout by kicking the field goal. They wanted to punch it in, and on fourth down they do so on a fine throw from Nash to Tron for the 6-yard strike. Now curious to see, St. Charles Catholic kicked off to start the third quarter, and they kicked it deep. Do they think about the onside kick? Riverside doesn't appear to be expecting it. They're back with their regular trio back to receive. As Rodrigue will boot it away. Again, a reminder, tomorrow on WHNO TV, live at 2:30, Sam Houston State at Nicholls State. Again, live at 2:30 on WHNO Channel 20. And it is booted away deep again by Rodrigue and will go into the end zone for the automatic touchback. And curious to see who comes in at quarterback for Riverside. Jordan Loving started the last drive. Jared Butler finished it, taking snaps on a pair of drives tonight at quarterback. Both in the huddle. I'm curious to see what direction the offense wants to go in here. Don't want to make a mistake deep in your own territory, as Loving will lead the team out on the field. Want to shut down any opportunity for St. Charles Catholic to get back into this football game. Loving takes the snap and will hand it off. And bouncing into the line and not getting much, it looks like Chanel, who finished the last drive with a touchdown run from 1 yard out. Gains 1 yard there on what will be the final play of the third quarter. Each team with a possession, each team with a touchdown. And the hands up in the air signaling 4 on both sidelines. Two very good teams with state championship aspirations looking to finish strong. But tonight, Riverside has continued their recent dominance in the series, leading 28-7. District 9 2A matchup. Tomorrow, live on Sports NOLA, the WHNO TV crew will be in Old Metairie at Country Day as the Cajuns take on the Greenies of Isidore Newman. Kickoff at 2 o'clock, and you can watch the game live on Sports NOLA or catch the tape delay that isn't that delayed coming on after that Nicholls-Sam Houston State game at 6 o'clock on WHNO TV, Channel 20. And what's been a really good package of games this year, we've had some close ones, most recently bringing you a Sunday game or Saturday game that came down with a wire. John Curtis edging St. Augustine 28-26 last week. At the drama in a River Parish rivalry that Desterham won in the final seconds on the field goal over Hanville as well this year. And Riverside is loving it a lot of trouble. Will just throw it away on second and 9. The Rebels featured in the first game of the season on the first NBC Web Showcase, losing a heartbreaker, and their only loss season to John Eric, 16-13. Since then, Riverside rattling off good wins. Parkview Baptist on the road, Hanville here reserve. Tough to win at Plaquemine. Rebels beat the Green Devils by 2 scores. And 2 district victories. 3rd and 9. Comets would love to finally stop the drive quickly tonight. From the 21. Loving drops straight back. Has plenty of time to throw. Now it breaks down and a coverage sack for a loss of a yard in the hands of Rodney Blanks. So 1 yard loss on the play. And how about that? Not only a stop, but a 3 and out. Keeping hope alive for the Comets. They're not a quick strike team, but they have a chance to get really good field position here as Tron will be standing at about his 40 as a single back looking to receive the punt. St. Charles Catholic coming after it, and it's a low snap, and he gets it away at the last second, and fortunate to have the roll that came as a very difficult play to make. Tanner Luke with a low snap, bobbled it, able to pick it up, and the senior making the best of it as it actually wound up being a pretty decent punt under the circumstances back into St. Charles Catholic territory at the 47. 35-yard punt thanks to the roll with a tick inside 11 minutes to go. St. Charles Catholic with a pulse here, and I think they sense that on the near side in the home stands in front of our broadcast location. St. Charles Catholic with a touchdown on the last drive. And Nash will step back into the shotgun on the first play of this possession. And we'll hand it off, and it's Narquez Jones cutting up into Riverside territory. Good gain of about 6 on the first down carry. Jared Hemel again with the stop, and suddenly the St. Charles running game, and you've got mostly starters out there, finding a bit more consistency. Call it 5 on the carry for Jones. St. Charles Catholic not in particular hurry, just trying to string good plays together. Nash will look to roll left and set up a screen to the backside that's deflected away and set up pretty well. Kobe Foster from his linebacking spot sniffed it out, leapt and got a finger on it. They were trying the throw back there to the tight end, Noah Bork. And there was plenty of room to run. Well designed. And the one man who had to stop it did. Setting up third and a short 5. First incompletion of the night for Nash. Trying to convert a third down here. Will look to throw quickly, and the receiver slips down. Trying for the quick comeback route to the far side, intended for Darren Blystad, but the junior slipped on his cut. Setting up an obvious go-for-it situation for the Comets on 4th down. Took these 2 most recent drives for St. Charles Catholic just to get the ball inside Riverside territory. And any chance to keep this a ball game hinging on a first down conversion here. 4th down, about 4.5 to go. Nash with a back with him in the backfield will hand it off to the man in motion who gets the 1st down close to the 40-yard line on the play, as the Comets had to have it and stuck with the running game, and Jones coming in motion, able to turn the corner and gain 7. So St. Charles Catholic converting their second 4th down here of the half. Will break the huddle quickly and try to keep it going. As the clock stopped and hasn't restarted yet, now it will, and go inside 10 minutes to go. Nash thought about pitching it and decided to take it right up the field and took a blow, gaining maybe 3 on the play. And again, Hemel on the spot with the hit. Also around the play was Najee Collins. And now Nash, you hate to see this. He was hit hard and not getting up. As the ball spotted at the 38. They will attend to Nash, and we hope that the outstanding junior and the Metro Prep Player of the Week last week is okay. Finally getting things going offensively, running this Comets offense in the second half. Had an interception around the goal line to stop one drive, as well as first of the year, as he does spend a bit of time on both sides of the ball returns. Kickoffs for St. Charles Catholic at all, and just a junior. Good talent to build a team around for Frank Monica and his coaching staff. He looks to be favoring his right leg, but now able to trot off under his own power. So good to see. More than likely, Robert Gilbert, a sophomore, as the backup quarterback, will come in here, and Nash will try to get himself back on the field as soon as possible. And now he'll lie down on the ground, and it may be a cramp as they look to be stretching that right leg on the St. Charles Catholic sideline. And it is Robert Gilbert in at quarterback, making his 3rd appearance of the year. 4 of 8 passing with a touchdown and an interception and 50 yards through the air. Facing a 2nd and 7 from the Riverside 38. He'll drop back to throw, and they give him an easy throw to make on the bubble screen, and Jace Tamplane doesn't gain much. Maybe a yard on the play. Cardaz Joseph, the safety, in on the stop. So a smart call to give him an easy throw, speaking of Gilbert. And as you expected, Nash, maybe not 100%, will hurry back into the ballgame. 3rd down and 6 for the Comets as they spread the field and line up Tron in the backfield to his left. Nearing 8.5 minutes to go. Nash will go with the delay draw, and Tron looks like a face mask will be called as he was about to break through, and I'm not sure if it was Wilbert Robertson. There was another defender in on the play, but that an easy call to make. The personal foul face mask will be marched off from the 39. Tron lost 2 on the carry, but would have had more if it wasn't for the reach in there by the big 330-pound nose tackle. They'll spot it after marching off the penalty, will the officials, at the 24-yard line of Riverside. And the drive stays alive. So you shouldn't be surprised one bit if you know anything about either of these two programs. There's no quit in either side. And St. Charles Catholic trying to make this a ball game. They trail 28-0, middle of the 3rd quarter. Trying to put together their 2nd straight scoring drive. Nash looked like he drew a defender offside. Will throw complete anyway, far sideline, and stepping out of bounds inside the 20. And we're looking to see if there was a flag down. Should have been a neutral zone infraction. But the penalty doesn't appear to have been called. Interesting. Gain of 5 on the play, setting up 2nd and 5. Curious, though, I believe Rhett LeBlanc with the reception. I think they missed one right there. Clock stopped at 7:55 to go. Nash drops straight back, again goes in the direction of the far sideline, and a receiver slips down once more for the Comets. Second time we've seen that on a similar cut coming back to the ball, and again, the intended receiver was LeBlanc. There hasn't been any rain around here in recent days, but a couple of times, Comet receivers haven't been able to keep their feet out of their cuts. Another third down situation for St. Charles. And obviously 4-down territory the rest of the way, as Nash has Jones lined up to his left. Riverside fans making noise to try to help their defense out, and Nash under a lot of pressure will go down, and a flag comes in late for what should be a holding penalty as well. The pocket collapsed pretty quickly as Nash went down at the 30. The big man Robertson in on the action. Had some help from Kobe Foster from his linebacking spot as well. Penalties decline on the loss of 11. And St. Charles will face a 4th and 16. And really no other decision. You've got to go for it and find a way if you can. Petra's restaurant serves a variety of delicious cuisines with excellent service, featuring the only white tablecloth dining experience in St. John. Petra offers an experience you'll never forget. Let Petra's host your next event and enjoy their outstanding dishes and serene atmosphere. That's Petra's in Laplace, as the Comets will burn their first time out here in half number 2 to discuss a tough 4th and long from the 30. Also remind you that Roussel's Fine Jewelry and Gifts celebrates 40 years in the river parishes, whether it be engagement rings, class rings, custom florals, or sweet fragrances. Roussel's offers a variety of gifts for all occasions. Want to customize your very own unique jewelry? Let Roussel's national award-winning designers create the perfect jewelry for you. That's Roussel's Fine Jewelry. We're at Mickey Roussel Field tonight in reserve. And Riverside, with a stop here, can essentially put the bow on a key victory in their hopes of winning another district title in 9-2A. They swept the 5 league games last year, including an easy win in Laplace over St. Charles Catholic. They dominated the first half. Tonight did the Rebels. And the defense and the sideline asking for the fans to make some noise. We've got some cowbells in a weird Ole Miss Mississippi State mixture of fan participation here tonight. Nash will drop back. Hit as he throws, fires over the middle and caught inside the 5 to the goal line and down at the 1-yard line. Wide open down the seam was Randall Campbell, the junior tight end, wide open. And once again, Nash back, tried to get up after the throw, but went down again. He was crushed on the pass. As you see on the replay, standing in there and taking the hit. Left earlier what looked like a cramp on this drive and missing a play. And now that one from taking a nasty blow as the pressure coming right up the middle. Clean hit right to the gut on the play. And Nash, not surprisingly, totally exposed, trying to keep his team alive with the biggest pass play of the night for St. Charles Catholic. Making the tough throw. That's leadership right there. Tremendous pass. Gain of 29. By far the biggest passing play of the night. Before that, it was the 6-yard touchdown throw to Tron. The only score of the night. But the Rebels now facing a Comets team that really came to play offensively in the second half. After a second consecutive touchdown march of around 75 yards to go up 28-0, St. Charles Catholic with a touchdown drive of their own, forcing a 3-and-out, and now this drive that started at their own 47. And with Nash banged up, we'll see if it's Gilbert, and it is the sophomore back in at quarterback. And more than likely, you keep the ball on the ground, Tron or Jones. The primary ball carries in the running game, and it's the bigger Jones in the power I, now shifting out of it. But a full house backfield. Jones, the deep back, likely to get the football, and he does. And surges left side and not able to get it across the goal line, marked inside the 1. And Riverside trying to say the ball was forced loose at the end of the play as Jones is now slow to get up. And he'll try to get back to his feet. And they stopped the clock there with 6:51 to go. Not sure if that was because of injury, saying that Jones would have to leave the game. He's staying in the huddle. Nash still on the sidelines, and Jones will come out. And I think he has to come out because the officials assumed him to be injured. So it'll be Tron, the guy who will line up with 3 across, the true full house look on 2nd and goal from the 1. And it's a handoff to the middleman who surges with second effort and gets it across the goal line for the touchdown. And St. Charles Catholic 1 extra point away from cutting the lead in half. Tyler Sandifer, on his first carry tonight, punches it in from a yard out. No quit at all in this St. Charles Catholic team, converting 4th downs on each of their 2 scoring drives. The big 29-yard pass to the tight end Campbell. And now the extra point is up and good by Andrew Rodriguez with 6:32 to go. 28-14 the lead for the Rebels. But St. Charles Catholic still alive and still battling. And even if they're not able to complete the comeback, sending a message for a potential rematch in the Division II bracket. As you know, and these select divisions, these teams wind up seeing a lot of rematches because of the limited number of teams, and you've got the 4 that we're featuring on Sports NOLA this weekend and 9-2A all going into the postseason bracket in Division II. So even though you may lose the first one, you want to take away, as I mentioned at the half, some positives. And St. Charles Catholic has really done that, although their star quarterback, Lloyd Nash, has taken a beating here in the second half in the process. We'll see if he's able to return. Looking at the unofficial power rankings in Division, I keep saying Division 2, I mean Division 3, where Riverside reached the title game last year, falling to Notre Dame. Riverside come into this game at number 2 and St. Charles Catholic number 3, with 20 teams slated to be in the postseason. And here comes the onside kick, and it takes a good bounce, and Riverside able to come up with it as a pair of Comets flanking each side of Jared Hemel, who's had a busy night from his linebacking spot. And he makes a big grab on a ball that took the perfect pair of hops if you're trying to recover it as the kicking team. Tron was near it. You know he has good hands. But Hemel able to save the day. And now if you're Riverside, you want to try to do something you've been able to do most of the night, no matter who the quarterback has been, and that's go on a long, sustained drive They went 3 and out and punted the ball away last time, and Butler will take the snaps here and hand it off. And it's Chanot who's gone the entire way in the second half at running back, gaining maybe 3 on the carry. The reason why is Jeremy Gibson was banged up on the final drive for Riverside in the first half, came back in after what looked like a right wrist injury to score from a yard out on the final play of the half, which is looking all the more crucial now that they were able to punch it in from the 1 yard line. But we have not seen Jeremy Gibson, who had 11 carries for 64 yards in the score in the first half. Now the Rebels will go a little deeper into the running back rotation. First carry for Hardell Mack, the senior, and it's a first down into Comets territory. Gain of 8 to the 48. Plenty of room to move, though. Good blocking. And with Butler in there at quarterback trying to run the football, as we see a flag down, Butler providing more of a running threat than Loving as the Rebels look to run clock. After the play, a personal foul will be assessed against St. Charles Catholic. Second time we've seen that in the half against the Comets. That'll take the ball down to the 32-yard line with 5:46 to go. And Riverside will continue on. Not surprisingly with Butler, because I don't think they want to risk putting the ball in the air too often, although many of their throws have been of the safe, quick variety. And we see St. Charles Catholic playing up a little closer here in the second half on this dangerous group of wide receivers. Clock running now, down to 2 on the play clock, and Butler will look to throw and will go deep and will be overthrowing his receiver. And Jeremiah Bigham, looking all over the place for a flag, said it. I think he was trying to say his left arm was held down, and it might have been from the looks of things, as Trey Joseph may have gotten away with one. We haven't heard boos tonight from either side, but we are now from the Riverside fans. And DBs try to get that inside arm pinned down at times in man coverage and see if they can get away with it. And Joseph did. And that slowed down the route just enough. And what was a pretty good throw. So with 5:18 left, 2nd and 10 from the 32, and it will be a keeper for Butler, who does a little hesitation on the run, I think in part to stay in bounds before turning the quarter. And another late flag comes in as Butler took it inside the 30 and stayed in the field of play at around the 24 or so. A flag thrown down from the back judge at the 15-yard line. And from the reaction of the Riverside players, maybe going against the Rebels this time around. Butler gave that little stutter step to set up the defender on the edge. And it will go against Riverside. I think you're seeing a rivalry continue to develop here. And you'll get some frustration and at times some plays after the whistle. And I guarantee you, both of these coaching staffs, when film study comes along, will be trying to guarantee this doesn't happen again. There's passion involved in the game, but coaches like Frank Monica and Bill Stubbs aren't going to tolerate much of this. Clock running now, near 5 minutes to go. Ball spotted at the 39. That makes it 2nd and 17. The bright side for the Rebels as the clock restarts. And they'll look to keep it on the ground. And off the right side, stopping in his tracks to let one potential tackler go by, Hardell Mack, with a decent gain of about 5. But that still sets up 3rd and long. The Comets with 2 timeouts left, but it's not a spot necessarily to use those yet. Has the play clock starting with 4:26 to go. If Riverside keeps the ball on the ground, they can work the clock well inside 4 minutes to go, or at least force St. Charles Catholic to use a timeout. And they may be in 4-down territory, talking about the Rebels at this point on the field. Again, 3rd and 12. Ball spotted at the 34, and with 1 on the play clock, Riverside calling the timeout just in time with 4:02 left. First timeout of the half, called by the Rebels. Again, we remind you, if you're tuning in to catch the end of this one, we thought it was going to be a one-sided affair after one half with Riverside of 21-0, and the Rebels took the second half kickoff, marched down the field for another score. Since then, St. Charles Catholic with a pair of TDs in response to keep this a ball game down the stretch. And District 9 2A play continues tomorrow in the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. Newman at Country Day, live at 2 o'clock here on Sports NOLA. And a delayed broadcast at 6 on WHNO TV Channel 20. Coming immediately following Sam Houston at Nichols, live on WHNO at 2:30. Country Day, 6th in the unofficial power rankings in Division 3. Newman, 12th, coming into this week's action. I'll also remind you, if you're at Sports NOLA right now, probably don't have to tell you, but go to the All-State Sugar Bowl Louisiana statewide scoreboard. All the scores in the state in one place, sportsnola.com. Now Butler will roll to his left and look to throw over the middle and has a man but overshoots him at the goal line. Once again, looking for Bingham. Jeremiah, the junior, had a step, but the ball just a bit overthrown. And they've gone after Trey Joseph in coverage quite a bit in this game. St. Charles Catholic loves the fact that it was a pass that was incomplete, stopping the clock with 3:55 to go and going for it on fourth down. That brings Jordan Loving back into the game, the better passer of the two. And now we have another stoppage of play as the Rebels came to the line of scrimmage, and quickly their sideline uses a second timeout. At the 34, you don't know if you're Riverside the condition of Lloyd Nash, whose fourth down pass of 29 yards down to the 1 yard line set up the second score for the Comets. They ran 2 plays with the backup quarterback Robert Gilbert in, handing it off on a drive punctuated by Tyler Sandifer's 1 yard plunge. The second touchdown of the year for Sandifer. Earlier, it was Philip Tron on fourth down with a 6 yard reception on a pass from Nash. Tron's first touchdown catch of the year. Seldom uses a receiver, but broke open on a strike inside the pylon in the third quarter. Now they're asking Loving to come in cold after standing on the sidelines for a while. He threw 2 touchdown passes in the first half and has played awfully well. Do you think they're going to ask him to throw the football here on 4th and 12? And he'll look to do so. Looks right, now looking left. Can't find a receiver. Rolls to his left and has room to move, but he's still looking down the field. Throwing it and incomplete. Well covered. Great coverage throughout that play down the field. The throw intended for Jalen Banks. And blanket coverage throughout the secondary for St. Charles Catholic. And a turnover on downs with 3:45 to go. St. Charles Catholic, we said they still have a pulse. The pulse a little more pronounced as Nash will come into the ball game. Had enough time to recover on the sidelines. As Riverside able to move it into St. Charles Catholic territory, but then the turnover on downs. A post-play on sportsmanlike conduct helping the case. And the Comets need a big play here. Nash drops to throw under heavy pressure, but setting up the screen to Tron. Blockers out in front of him, but quickly recovering from the backside. A tackle around the 40-yard line. Winds up being just a gain of 5. And slowing down Tron to begin with was Najee Collins. Making the stop from behind, the linebacker Kobe Foster. 2nd and 5 from the 39. Nash fires, diving catch is not made. Too low on the far sideline. on the throw intended for Rhett LeBlanc. Clock stops with 3:13 to go. St. Charles Catholic converting on 4th downs on each of their scoring drives. Hanging on, hanging in there after trailing 28-0. The Riverside sideline trying to make some noise on this cool, clear night in reserve. Nash straight back. Now we'll look to run. And brought down from behind. Gets back only to the original line of scrimmage, and it's Harrison Heckathorn, the senior leader of this defense. Spying all the way on the dangerous Nash. No gain. And it looks like St. Charles Catholic will use their final timeout to discuss another 4th down with 2:56 left. Can they convert again and keep this thing going? Looking to obtain an outstanding and affordable driving education, then schedule classes with Spillway Safe Driving Academy in LaPlace or Lutcher. Student driver and adult courses are not only informative but also fun. They provide payment arrangements, so check out their website to sign up for your lesson today. That's SpillwaySafeDrivingAcademy.com. Told you about the games on WHNO tomorrow, including the live stream on Sports NOLA. Also let you know as part of the WGSO Prep Football Package, 9:90 a.m., WGSO.com. I'll be at Zephyr Field tomorrow for Jesuit taking on Archbishop Shaw. Kickoff at 4 o'clock in that one, streaming live. And there's a link available to WGSO as well on SportsNOLA.com. 4th down and 5 for St. Charles Catholic at their 39. Do or die at this point for the visiting Comets, who will split receivers 2 apiece out to each side. Tron, the running back, next to Nash, who will look to drop. Buying time with his feet. Scrambling back left and now right and throwing to an open man, but it's tipped away. Incomplete. And Jared Hemel, the hero of the night defensively for Riverside, deflecting the ball away. A man was open, but the ball never got to him. And Riverside takes over with 2:46 to go in the 2-touchdown lead. Big play and a stop to break up that momentum for St. Charles Catholic. Credit Nash coming back into the ball game after the big hit on the previous drive. Trying to make it happen with his feet to buy time. And if the ball would have gotten to his receiver, it would have been a 1st down into Riverside territory. But finally, the Rebels come up with the stop on 4th down here in the second half. And Butler with a back to each side will look to keep it on the ground and hands it off to the senior Hardell Mack, who fights his way forward for a gain of nearly 5. Clock ticks inside 2.5 minutes to go. Exactly what the Rebels need to do here. Avoid losses, keep the ball on the ground. A 1st down, and definitely 2, would put this one away. This time, it'll be a fake handoff and a keeper for Butler, who's cognizant of the sideline and staying in bounds, and finds his way to the turf inside 2 minutes to go after a short gain. 1:55 to go on the clock, and the Comets will call their final timeout of this second half. So Butler's been really smart on a couple of keepers here on the past 2 drives. Shows you how well these 2 teams are coached, understanding the importance of staying in bounds. Butler with 1 on the play, who hasn't found a great deal of running room, but has made this 2-headed monster at quarterback effective tonight. And he'll stay in the ball game on 3rd and 4. Chanel will line up to his left and Mack to his right. So options either way for Butler in that zone read look. Comets, without any timeouts left, need a stop here to keep the game alive. It will be a handoff to Mack, going left side, stringing it outside, now cutting it up, runs into his own man, stays on his feet, gets the first down before being pushed back. And the only guy in his way was wide receiver Jalen Banks, who got stood up trying to block. But Mack relinquished ground on the collision and then got forward enough for the first down. But a flag on the play, and it will be holding, pushing Riverside back with 1:44 to go. Without the flag, this game's over. Instead, they'll march it back and set up a 3rd and long for the Rebels, as a penalty will be marched off to the 46-yard line. Gain of 6 on the run wiped out. Now it's 3rd down and about 16 to go. But the clock will start again, and Riverside should be in no hurry. 1:35 to go with 16 on the play clock. And now looking to the sideline. The Riverside offense will run clock here. Not even looking to snap. Now with 5 on the play clock, Butler will look to take the snap with a second to go, and they execute that perfectly on the handoff. But Mack is driven backwards, nowhere to go, but able to break free and go up the far sideline. He's got a first down and more, and he may score. He's knocked out of bounds inside the 10-yard line, close to the goal line, and that'll do it with 1:06 to go. Outstanding run by Hardell Mack, who's driven backwards but able to keep his feet and accelerate to the outside. Second effort and then some on the huge run on 3rd and 17. Biggest run of the night for the Riverside offense. Gain of 43 as he was marked down at the 4. And now Riverside can just run out the clock and savor another District 9 2A victory, their 3rd in as many tries. So, not able to use Jeremy Gibson, their lead running back, in the second half. Chanel was crucial on the touchdown drive to start the 3rd quarter and has the ball now and looks like he will get it close to the goal line, but stocked up at the 1. They've been able to use Chanel and Mack. Chanel just a sophomore, Mack the senior, who they've trusted with the football here down the stretch. Gain of 3. And now you wonder if Riverside will punch this in or take a knee in the final seconds. Again, you could see a rematch of these teams very easily in the postseason. How will Riverside handle it? St. Charles Catholic can't stop the clock. It ticks inside 30 seconds to go. They'll keep it on the ground with Butler, who tries to get to the edge and will be forced out of bounds short of the pylon. As Riverside playing to the final whistle here, has the clock stopped with 20 seconds to go as Butler faked the handoff and nearly got across the goal line, setting up a 3rd and 1. Really curious that they're not taking a knee here because of the potential for a rematch and what that can do in the minds of St. Charles Catholic. But also, you make a huge mistake here, turn over the ball, and see it go the other way for a score. It's the only life St. Charles Catholic could possibly have in the game. Now with 20 seconds left, they'll stay with the formation in the gun with Mack and Chanel, one to each side of Butler. He'll hand it off to Chanel, who's going to score. Yes, he does. Found the seam, powered his way in with 15 seconds left. Second touchdown of the half from a yard out by Chanel. And if they make the extra point for the 3rd straight meeting, it could be exactly 35 points scored for the Rebels against St. Charles Catholic. As Elliot Veron, perfect on extra point tries tonight, tries to make it 5 for 5. Loving in the hold. Good snap, kick up, bit of a line drive, and it is good. So 15 seconds left, and Riverside able to drive it 39 yards after forcing the turnover on downs by St. Charles Catholic, punching it in the final seconds. The big play on 3rd and 17 by the senior running back, who also sees some time on the defensive side of the ball, Hardell Mack. Pushed back at the line of scrimmage, found room to the outside, and rumbled for 43 yards. And St. Charles Catholic not able to keep Riverside out of the end zone in the final seconds. 2 touchdown passes early on by Jordan Loving through the air. From 4 yards out to Avanti Cannon, and 27 yards out on a diving catch by Jalen Banks, and then 3 one-yard touchdown runs, including 2 by Louis Chanot here in half number 2. But St. Charles Catholic made a game of it for a while there after falling behind 28-0. A 4th down and 6. And St. Charles Catholic able to score on the 6-yard touchdown pass from Lloyd Nash to Philip Tron. And then a 1-yard plunge from Tyler Sandifer after a 4th and 16 conversion on a throw by Nash to Randall Campbell. So it got interesting late, but now Riverside will kick it away with just seconds to go. And Nash will not be back to return in a no-win situation as the ball goes through the hands of Narquez Jones and into the end zone for the touchback. We assume St. Charles Catholic will put it on the ground once and get out of here and hop back on the bus and head to LaPlace and regroup with 2 games left on the season before the playoffs. Comets will host West St. John next week and then wrap things up in Week 10. Also at home against Country Day. Riverside will try to keep this 6-game winning streak going. With 2 games away from home, they won't be at home again until the playoffs. They're at Country Day and then face Sophie B. Wright at Pan American to wrap up the regular season. And favored to win both of those games and go unbeaten in the district for a 2nd straight year. Nash will go with the delayed draw and hand it off to Jones. Gain of about 5 on what will be the last play of the ball game, and a victory for Riverside. As for the 2nd straight time these 2 teams have played, the Rebels win by a score of 35-14. Riverside improves to 6-1 on the year, 3-0 in non-2A. And St. Charles Catholic drops to 6-2, 2-1 in the district. We thank you so much for joining us tonight from Reserve. A budding rivalry, no doubt. We saw some passion in the second half between both teams, and don't be surprised if these 2 match up again late in the postseason in Division 3. And maybe after that late score, a little added motivation for St. Charles Catholic as they drew within 2 scores but fall 35-14 to a very good and very complete Riverside team eyeing another trip in as many seasons to the Superdome. I want to thank Nat on the camera and Chip producing the broadcast tonight. We remind you that tomorrow live at 2 o'clock, the WHNO crew will bring you live on Sports NOLA, Newman at Country Day. 2 more teams that are threats in the Division 3 bracket. And live on WHNO, you can watch at 2:30, Sam Houston State at Nichols State. That one at 2:30. Immediately following that game is the telecast of Newman at Country Day, scheduled for 6 o'clock or whenever the game in Thibodaux ends. Jude Young wrapping it up from Mickey Roussel Field. The final score, Riverside stays undefeated in district with a 35-14 victory over St. Charles Catholic. We thank you so much for joining us. Tune in tomorrow at 2 for another presentation of football brought to you by First NBC Bank. Good night.